Others POV.
あれ？おばさんからメールだ。今日はゆうたは風邪で休むから待たずに行ってちょうだいだって。あら、今日はゆりちゃんも体調が悪いとかでお休みなんです。ではもうみんな揃ったでしょうか。みたいね。二人も欠けてしまうとなんだか寂しいわね。本当です。
Yeah, Julian. They're kind of sick because of each other. You know how it is.
でも珍しいな。ゆうくん、あんまり学校休むことってないんだけど。なんかさ、最近顔色が悪いよね。そのせいかな。なのかな。肉食えばいいんだよ、肉。そんな単純な話でもないでしょ。私お肉食べたい。誰もカリンの話なんかしてないわよ。私またお役立ちのマジックアイテムをあげた方がいいです。どうかな。ルルちゃん、病気であるならお医者様に任せましょう。どうしたの？私に相談って珍しいじゃないか。珍しいどころか初めてかな。っていうかあんた学校は行かなくていいの？もう完全に遅刻じゃないのさ。一体どうしたのよ、いきなり泣いたりして。泣いていちゃわからないよ。お姉さんに話してみな。って私はあんたのママだよね。いくら若く見えるってもさ。
Adrian, now's not the time to be making jokes, okay?
反応ゼロ。こりゃいよいよ様子がおかしいが。で、どうしたのさ。ほら、顔を上げて、ちゃんとママの目を見な。私、大変なことしちゃって。大変って何が？おや？あんたの顔、ずいぶんとツヤツヤしてるじゃないか。
Adrian wiped a tear from Julie's face. Hey, her skin was soft like a newborn's and flushed a gentle red. Adrian thought she may have been red because she was crying, but
私、ダメだって思うのに、こんなことはいけないって思うのに。
a new stream of tears ran down her face.
どうしても自分で自分が止められなくて、抑えられなくて。
This is why female gooners are scarier than male gooners.
それで毎日わかったよ。ゆうたくんだね。
Is there any other guy in her life other than her dad? And that would be even that would be even weirder, because he's already getting drained by one succubus.
ごめんなさい、ママ。私に謝ってもしょうがないよ。とにかくまあ、ゆうたくんの様子を見に行こうか。今は学校かな。いや、あんたの顔がこんなに正気にあふれている以上、ゆうたくんは逆にひどいことになっている。 普通は学校を休ませるかな。ま、行ってみればわかるか。しかしまあ、私は驚いたよ。まさか引っ込み思案のあんたがね。さすがは私の娘だよ。そんなこと嬉しそうに言わないで。ありゃ。まあまあ、別に今すぐどうこうなるってわけじゃないんだからさ。
She tapped Julie on the shoulder to cheer her up, but Julie just anxiously shook her head. Phew. I spread eagled on my bed, staring at the ceiling again. It was a weird feeling. It was time to be in class, but here I was in my bed. On my bed. I didn't even feel bad in the slightest. But this is the life. The only reason it was hard to get up get up this morning was because I simply didn't want to. Stretching my arms and legs out like this was actually ameliorated by my persistent sluggishness. Ameliorated. I don't know. Oh, that's right. I didn't even wash my boxes this morning. I didn't even check, for that matter. Now that I was aware, the dried semen kind of chafed my skin. But it didn't even cross my mind to stand up and put on a new pair. I just wanted to stay like this forever. Hmm?
ああ、やっぱりいたんだね。
Adrienne, Julie. I turned my head away from the wall and lifted it up, just enough to greet them. Julie's eyes looked red and puffy, and that was enough to get me to at least sit up. What's the matter? Hey, my parents told me to stay home today. Julie suddenly buried her face in her hands and fell to her knees. I was taken by surprise. For what?
沼に見入られた人間は一種の酩酊状態に置かれるというのが一つの特徴でね。
I had no idea what she was talking about. Adrienne had an uncharacteristically serious tone.
それは夢の中で相手を誘いやすくするためだが、パートナーがそんなことでは困ってしまうからね。そこで
Adrienne clapped her hands like a firecracker directly in front of my eyes. It was a feint though. What?
今ので目が覚めただろ。
Adrienne took a small mirror from off my shelf and turned it toward my face.
見てみな。今ゆうたくんの顔がどんなか。
I looked at myself when I washed my face.
ちゃんと見るんだよ。
What? I nearly leapt back into the wall. I took the mirror Adrienne was holding and brought my face right up to it. What's happening? I mean, I knew that this was what my face looked like. Of course I knew. It wasn't like I forgot what I saw in the mirror this morning. But I certainly didn't react with such horror compared to my second time. Yeah, it would be so much better if we got to see his actual face. But no, he's the main protagonist of an error gaze, so of course we don't get to see his face. Perhaps my vantage point was a bit different.
目が覚めただろ。
Huh?
酔っているような心地がなくなっただろ。
Yeah. Now that she mentioned it, I felt normal. That feeling of apathy from before was gone. I felt awake and alert. Which must have been why I was able to process just how abnormal my face looked. But what's happening? I knew why my parents were so freaked out. A husk. I rarely labeled other people as such, but it popped into my head.
それがムーマの能力さ。一つにはさっき言った感情のドンマ、そしてもう一つがそれ。相手の生気を奪う。
So, well, he was literally getting his soul sucked out of him. I looked down at Julie, still sitting on her knees on the floor. She slumped her shoulders and was just staring at her knees. So, those dreams, you saw them too, Julie?
ごめんなさい。
No, just to make sure, Succubus's power, spirit.
旧姓です。
Right, that. Yorahime had explained it once before, that a succubus's power is spirit drain, and it's done by coitus within a dream. Stop showing it. It was what we did coitus. Technically, on one hand, it was true that I did ejaculate into her in some way. Why are you laughing?
いや。
I know it was a dream. But it's not just a dream like any other, right?
そうだね。夢であって夢ではない。というか、ムマは相手の夢に入り込んでコントロールできるのさ。
Right. And that's what it was.
だから、夢を共有しているとも言える。当然、ユリもちゃんと覚えているよ。夢の中で、ユウタくんに何をしてあげたか。
Julie's ears were bright red. I had heard about succubi powers before, but I had kind of been thinking as much throughout. Just Julie in my dreams. She's kind of a different person, and
あと
we weren't even dating, so I didn't want to accuse her of initiating. If I did that, it might have seemed like I was blaming her for this. She already blames herself for this, so, you know. So I took a different approach. After some time, it all started to feel natural, like it was supposed to happen.
それも感情のドンマさ。ユウタくん次第に任務のことしか頭になくなっていっただろう
I nodded.
性格についてはそれもムマの特徴さ。夢の中ではより積極的になり、そして快楽に対しても貪欲になる。
Julie, in reality, was on the floor trying to curl up and disappear. But the Julie from my dreams. Despite it being a dream, it was still the Julie I knew in real life. That was the succubus special power then.
ただ、夢の中はそれで説明がつくとして、問題はその前さ。私はちょっと感心したね。もっとも、そのおかげでユウタくんはげっそりしちゃったわけだけどさ。
Before the dreams, huh? I kept myself from asking before, but I figured it would be best to. Hey, Julie, so why did you...
ユウタくん、女を本当にものにしたいんだったら、あんまりとろいこと言うんじゃないよ。
Julie's cheeks stayed red as she kept her eyes on the floor. Why was Julie infiltrating my dreams? I guess I didn't really need to ask. she came to this world to see me in the first place. Sorry. I bowed my head and Adrienne lightened up.
まあ、気持ちだけじゃないだろうけどね。要因はいくつかある。一つには、ユリもそろそろ成熟した女になった。男ならむしゃぶりつきたくなるようなおっぱいやお尻だろう。もう、ママったら変なこと言わないで。何が変なことだよ。とっても大事なことじゃないか。
It really is.
ムマにとって人間の男の性器は、なんていうか、ビタミン？ミネラル？そんなようなもんでね。
I see.
ないとなかなか我慢ができなくなる。大人になるとね。要するに、ユリもそろそろ男を求めるお年頃になったということさ。それが一つ。それから、ユリはまだおぼこなんだ。だろ？
A maiden? What do you mean, a virgin?
三つ。つまり、生娘さ。
Wasn't that hard to figure out?
ゆうたくんも経験あるからわかるだろう？童貞はエッチのことで頭がいっぱい。そんな事情はおぼこの方だって同じなのさ。そんな、私は。違うのかい？好きな男の腕に抱かれて、体の中心で受け入れて、一番深いところでじんわり広がっていく性の感覚に酔いしれる。そんなことを本当に考えたこともないのかい？
Julie couldn't refute Adrienne's rhetorical tone.
そんなわけで、ユリもとうとう自分を抑えきれなくなったわけだが。
Adrienne's expression turned serious and she focused on me. The doctor.
先生？
My parents called a doctor over.
ああ、じゃあ私らは一旦退散して、また1時間後くらいに来るよ。
Okay. I went downstairs with them. I'm coming.
ゆうたさん。
We stood staring at one another for a few minutes. We hadn't even really exchanged any words the whole time. Julie looked at me with sadness and guilt as she gently touched my cheek.
本当にごめんなさい。
You don't have to apologize. I know how you feel. I'll see you later. さて、さっきの話の続きだが。 Yeah, the doctor doesn't matter. Who cares about him?
人間はね、性器を過剰に奪われれば死んでしまうんだ。だから、ゆうたくんが今げっそりしているのは、本当言って笑い事じゃないんだよ。
But actually, I just got a shot. Some nutrients or something.
それは、ユリを慰めているつもりかい？
I scratched my head in embarrassment.
ムマにとって、人間の男をあの領域にするなんて造作もないことだが、もちろんそんなことはしない。
Well,
する意味もな
yeah,
いしね。
because if you do, that's one less food source.
危害を加えるどころか、ムマと人間は持ちつ持たれつの関係なのさ。
Because
なぜなら、ムマの男はいないから。
male succubi are incubus. They're not called succubus. That's exclusively female. Huh?
女だけの種族なんだよ、ムマは。
Yes, because incubi are the male counterparts. There's a reason there's no male succubi. It's not the same thing. It's not like nurses and doctors, right? There's male nurses and there's female doctors. They're not. But there are no female incubi and there's no male succubi. It's not like.
だから種は主に人間からもらうわけなのさ。
And that's why even though you're the queen, your husband is here.
そういうこと。だからユリも当然婿はこちらで探さなければならなかったわけだが、そのことは黙っていてほしいなんて頼んでさ、私や他のみんなにも。
Really? Why?
ユータさんに知られたくなかったんです。
Why? Julie faced me and had a look of honest conviction.
私がこちらに来たのは婿とする相手を探すためではないです。あくまであなたに会いに来たんです。だから。
Yeah.
まあユリとしてはそういう気持ちがあったわけだけど、ともあれ2つの種族は共生関係にある。夫はともかく、私たちはその他大勢の人間から美味しく生気をいただいて、その男たちは一夜の快楽を味わう悪い話じゃないよね。
But if having your spirit energy taken puts you in danger...
一度や二度なら全然何の問題もないよ。問題はパートナーの方さ。晴れて馬と結ばれた男はそれからずーっと生気を奪われ続けることになるからね。
Yeah, why do you think your teacher looks drained all the time? Oh, wait. Oishi, is that why he looks... Is that why he always looks kind of ill?
照れるね。
You aren't blushing. I don't think you have a blushing sprite. I see. He always looks pale and not like a ladies' man at all. At least that's what we've all convinced ourselves of. But in reality, it's the opposite. He gets it all the time, and that's why he looks ill. I see. Someone told me that I kind of resembled him.
でも私の愛しい旦那は今のゆうたくんほどひどい顔色はしていないよ。
Well, yeah, because Julie can't fucking control it because she's been trying to stay modest the whole time. So that must mean... Oh, maybe you're having a dry spell.
What?
She brutally karate chopped my neck.
今でも週に最低7回は愛し合っているよ。まったく失礼だね。
And that's once a day. That's pretty normal. That's way too much. I'm sorry. You sure?
毎日のように生気を失っても旦那が死なないで済んでいるのは私のおかげさ。
You don't hear that. Hmm?
ちゃんと力を制御しているからね。生かさぬよう殺さぬよう。
Didn't Tokugawa say that? Wait, what do you mean not give him life?
浮気しないようにね。
Uh-huh.
よく結婚生活を円満にさせるため妻は夫の胃袋をつかめなんて言うだろう。私に言わせると違うんだなこれが。
Well, yeah, of course you're different. You're a succubi.
金玉を握る最大の秘訣はこれだよ。
No way! I never would have guessed. I think we're getting off topic. Adrian cleared her throat and got back to the subject at hand.
ただおぼこのユリには制御なんて器用な真似は当然できない。だから
ママ、
もういい加減にしなよユリ。
Yeah, you're draining him non-stop.
ゆうたくんをこんなにしておいていつまで甘ったれた態度を取るつもりだい。
はい。
だから練習を積まないといけないんだよ。
Ow. Practice?
そう練習。
No. Don't make me censor more shit. Her repeating it didn't help to draw a clear picture.
夢 中で交わらないといけないんです。
Bro. No.
何度も何度もいろんな人と力の使い方を覚えるまで。
Okay, well, I'm not letting that happen. She wasn't saying anything particularly difficult, but my brain was having trouble comprehending it. Or rather, I just didn't want to comprehend it.
それでようやく婿を取れるんだよ。そうじゃないと自分の愛する男を自分が殺すことになる。そんなの耐えられないじゃないか。
でも私はそんなの。
Julie covered her face with both hands like before. Adria seemed a little irritated.
で、ゆうたくんも嫌なんだろ？
Well, no, I don't.
一丁前の独占欲か。
Yeah, I picked her out. I mean, he picked her out. I remember her saying something similar before. Maybe I really was thinking that. I wanted her to all to myself.
まあ、それが人間の価値観なんだろうね。私なんかも旦那と連れ添って長いけど、いまいちわからない。
But you don't let him cheat on you. Let me go back. Where did she say that? I just don't let him cheat. So, why don't you let him cheat if you don't understand why humans care so much about cheating? Hmm?
結局それが人間と無魔の相入れない点ではあるのだろうけど。しかし、これは重大な問題だよ。ゆうたくんだって童貞のまま死にたくはないだろう？
Well, then just don't die a virgin. Die after sex. Well, no, not really.
童貞は余計だったか。とにかく花盛りの10代に何も死ぬことはない。
Die. Yikes. Was I really on the brink of death here? That word that came to mind when I saw the mirror. Husk. Although it was pretty outrageous that word would come to mind when I looked at my own face.
人の生き死にがかかっている以上、こんな重大な問題はないよ。だから、これはパパも交えて話をしようか。
パパ？
そう。
わかった。
Well, yeah, of course we should get her dad involved. He has a sprite.
学校の仕事が終わったら、ここに来てもらってもいいかい？それとも、上の方がいい？
My house is fine. My parents don't get home until late. It doesn't matter. You're like right next to each other.
じゃあ、そうしよう。
You have Lucy's house in between you two.
さてと。じゃあ、私はまた一旦帰るよ。じゃあね。
Adrienne left Julie behind and walked out of the room.
じゃあ、私も。
Julie hesitantly motioned to leave, but I stopped her. Wait, you took the day off, so you're free, right?
はい。
Okay, I want to stay with you a little longer.
はい。
That's Riz. I felt like that was a pretty bold way to put it, but Julie nodded happily, so I took it as a win. And then he got sucked off in his dream and died. Never mind. I hadn't been a proper host for Julie and Adrienne in the slightest, so I at least made some tea. Here, it's pretty cheap tea though.
ありがとうございます。
I'm famished. I set the cup down on the table and went to the phone before I sat down. I was in such a daze before, I didn't even realize my hunger. But my body didn't forget. I'm gonna order a pizza. Do you want some?
いえ、私は 後でお家で食べますから。
Really?
はい。
I returned to the table after making the order. I'd like to go out somewhere to eat with you, but leaving the house sounds troublesome.
ごめんなさい。私のせいで。
Oh, no, don't worry about it. I shook my head. It felt really good. So, what was I saying? Julie was bright red now. No, keep going. Keep talking. I just muttered something incoherent, then swirled my plain tea around it in its cup. Oh, that's right. This is where the dream happened. All I wanted to have was a cup of tea with her, but I may have fumbled the ball here. Julie was still blushing from the neck up, while she swirled her tea with a spoon. But now, if I said something like, "Let's drink this upstairs," it would be obvious that I was thinking about the dream. No, mention the dream. I took a few sips of tea with my thirsty mouth. Julie, don't worry, okay? I don't know how you feel, I think. So, take it easy, alright?
はい。
We sat quietly for a bit, drinking our tea. I'm in a weird mood now. I had already crossed a major line with this girl. The actual occurrence was in a dream, though. But that dream wasn't a normal dream, by any measure. It also happened multiple times. I then caught myself staring at her luscious full lips. Those unbelievably cute moist lips were wrapped around my manhood. Don't you dare. Making smacking, sucking sounds, don't you dare. And fervently locking me in until climax. That feeling. It had to feel the same in real life. That ticklish feeling of her mouth, of her warm tongue's tip. Her cheeks soft like sponge cake. It would probably all feel just like I remembered. Julie shrugged down in her chair when she noticed me staring. I hastily averted my eyes. I thought she'd blush more than that. I really can't deny Adrian's words. That a virgin man's head is full of such thoughts. But girls were fundamentally the same in that regard. Of course, both sexes had levels of desire that fluctuated wildly. Julie desired me. Succumbing to that urge, she infiltrated my dreams. Julie placed down her cup and spoke.
前にも言いましたよね。私がムマとして変わっていると、よく母から言われていたこと。
That much is obvious. Yeah.
それはそれとして感心されないことではあったのですけど、ママが怒るのも理由のないことではなかったんです。だって練習しなければ本当に好きな人と一緒になることはできないわけですから。
Julie laughed dejectedly, then took another sip.
母はよく言っていたんです。人間の男の子と早々にちぎりを交わしたことは何の問題もない。けど一体その男の子をどうするつもりなんだって。
What you would do?
わがままを通した挙句死なせてしまうつもりなのかと。ムマは吸血鬼と違って人間とは近しい存在です。けれどユータさんに会いに行くことに内心では反対だったかもしれません。
Why is that?
悲しいことが起きる、そう言っていましたから。
Sadness, huh? But I'm happy I could see you again. And I want you to feel the same way. Julie had been looking down, her mood dark, but she perked up in surprise. I think I really like you, Julie. Damn! Her usual big bright eyes were wider than ever. I mean, I get it's backwards, right? They had H scene before the confession, but the confession is still really early into the route, bro. Yeah, I don't want it, even in a dream. I don't want it even in a dream. I mean, it doesn't make a difference for a succubus where it occurs. Anyway, in a dream or reality, I don't want you to touch anyone else but me. I could see clear streaks flowing down her glowing cheeks. Yeah, this is why Adrienne doesn't like this, because Julie fell in love with Yuta very early on, right? So she didn't get to train her succubus powers before she got to be with Yuta. Unlike Adrienne, who was able to practice throughout adulthood until meeting Oishi. Before meeting Oishi. Yeah. But no, Julie's 18, right? Right, guys? Adrienne had said a lot before she left, but Julie was likely doing this somewhat unconsciously. She was well aware that continuing like this would harm me, yet she still couldn't repress her urge. And once in the dream, her personality changed, and she lusted for me. I turned and saw my reflection in the window. I looked slack and pale. I obviously didn't want to die, but I was also against her doing that with another guy, any other guy. Yeah, because there aren't any other guys in the same age range that have sprites. Julie was mine now. That claim was burgeoning inside. I stood up and walked around the table to her chair. I put my hands on her shoulders. Julie, don't cry. I'm sure Adrienne and Oishi will have some solution for this. Adrienne, maybe. Oishi, I think he's just along for the ride. It might have been empty encouragement. Right, Julie? Like I said, this visual novel, this route did not have time for Julie and Yuta to be dense. There wasn't a single time in relation to the romance side of things where they were like dense about their feelings for each other. Because before that ever happened, they have a fucking hate scene 3 fucking times where Yuta gets drained of his balls every night. So he was kind of forced into this situation where he was confronted by Adrienne being like, if you want her to control her powers, she needs to sleep with other men. And Yuta's like, nah, I ain't about that shit. I'm gonna confess to Julie because she's mine. I want you to tell me how you feel. I mean, it's still a bit abrupt, but like, you know, Julie threw her arms around me, half in desperation. It's like, here's the thing, right? When it comes to the other 3 girls that I've had their routes with, they already liked Yuta at the start of the route. It just took a bit before they confessed to each other. Where you know, it's not like it's not like we're seeing them start to like each other and then they confess after they've confirmed that they do like each other. They already like each other. It's just that with Yorihime, with Luna, with Karen, what we were seeing is their relationship growing further. But that wasn't... You can have the confession earlier on in the route and still have that level of progression, you know? That's why I'm saying this isn't that big of a deal.
ユウタさんが大好き。
This was reality, right? Well, if it wasn't, she wouldn't have clothes on. I mean, Julie in real life, kissing me like that. My body tensed up in surprise, but it was only for a second before I wrapped my arms around her. Yet... Huh? I feel empty. No! Sorry about that. My body seemed to lose all its strength, and I fell to the floor with a crash. He still gets drained even from a kiss. I still seem to be perfectly conscious, though. So, even a kiss can drain my spirit. Julie nodded reluctantly. I see. It's not confined to a dream. Reality might actually have a greater effect. Probably. Ah, shit, it's the pizza. The doorbell rang and Julie froze in fear. Oh, it's the pizza guy. Sorry, but there's some cash in my room. Could you pay him with that?
わかりました。
If I had been feeling normal, it wouldn't have been an issue, but I couldn't even get up off the ground. I virtually crawled over to the sofa and somehow hoisted myself up.
お待たせしました。
Yeah, he's even worse now than he was in the morning. Thanks. The tantalizing smell of pizza wafted through the room, and my stomach churned in hunger. Even if I couldn't stand on my own 2 feet, hunger still assailed me. Does Julie have to feed him pizza? She put the pizza box on the glass table and looked at me with deep worry. I'm fine, really. Although I barely believed it myself, I tried to console Julie.
ごめんなさい。
She got a little ahead of herself. Julie just stroked my forehead, tears in her eyes. But still, it made me happy. Her cheeks flushed slightly after that. At that. I had always thought Julie was the purest one. But when things got heated, that flipped to enthusiasm, even in reality. The purest one. On a purity scale, out of the 4 girls, Julie would probably be... It's hard to determine, because with Karen and Luna, they were ignorant to sex, you know? Yorihime definitely is at the bottom of the list. She is not pure in the slightest. She is the most closeted pervert out of all the characters. Julie knows the most about it. So calling her pure is an understatement. With Karen and Luna, it kind of... You can't really compare the two. You can't really compare Karen and Luna with Julie and Yorihime because they don't know about sex. So I guess Julie is the most pure. That contrast got me a little aroused. You did it before too. That one dream we had.
はい。
See, this one I don't need a censor because they just kissed in this one. Julie was the one to initiate a kiss that time as well. But we didn't just touch lips. She actually used her tongue too. Knowing that the thought alone could make me hard, I quickly tried to distract myself.
私、あの時からもう、ユウタさんのことばかり考えてしまって。
Really? I never would have guessed. No, oh, that's why he's had dreams that's why he's been having dreams every night of you sucking his dick under the table. Oh, what do you mean? Oh. Even coming from a girl he didn't care about, any guy would be happy to hear that. Well, if she was cute enough, yeah. But hearing it from a girl I already liked, you already confessed to her, so it's kinda hard not to say you like her. I lied down on my side and felt like I was floating off the ground. I mean, that could be arranged. You can't fly, after all. We looked into each other's blushing faces and smiled. It wasn't your run-of-the-mill dream, and we had shared it together. I got a fuzzy feeling inside, like when you share a secret or a joke with another person. But I see. That's why for your partner, huh? You know, in reality, if a spirit drain doesn't occur, then she wouldn't always look ill like he does. Julie looked somewhat embarrassed, and I realized how awkward what I said was. Talking about your parents and how they had sex too, it made for an awkward conversation. Well, enough of that. Sorry for eating alone. I reached out toward the table, still lying on my side.
食べられますか?
Yeah, maybe. Can you scoot the table toward me a little?
では、私が食べさせてあげますから。
Huh? You do that? Julie nodded. Sorry for the trouble.
そんなこと。
Julie laughed and shook her head. She put a knee on the table next to the sofa where I lay. She looked determined and willing to help. My heart sped up seeing her enthusiasm. Whoa. I can't take my eyes off her thighs. But my hunger overcame that urge. She took a slice and brought it to my mouth. Oh. I didn't even need to remind myself that being fed by a girl was a first for me. I told you that they would feed each other, it just took a while. The pizza got cold. The pizza's gotten cold. Being watched so closely as I ate it was a little embarrassing, but it wasn't bad. Oh, sorry. Nom nom. My lips grazed her finger.
気にしないでください。
Keep going, it's getting her off. What? I finished the piece in a few hungry bites, and she already had the next ready. Her slender white fingers were busy working for me. That also wasn't bad at all. Yeah, but you're probably thinking of those fingers working some other body, something else. I mean, yeah, that was good. Thanks, Julie.
どういたしまして。
I was so hungry. I can't believe I just scarfed down a large pizza. One piece could get me through the day in terms of calories, though.
勢力を失ってしまったときは、たくさん食べるといいんです。
I figured.
よく食べて、よく寝て、普通はそれで回復するということなのですが。
I guess I couldn't recover fast enough. It was weird to call attention to this, but I was young. I had a lot of physical and mental energy. But ending up like this despite that must mean... Julie, are your powers strong for a succubus?
そう言われています。
That was probably a factor too. Okay then, I'm gonna take a nap. I'd like to hang out and talk more though. After satiating my huge appetite, A crippling wave of fatigue was washing over me. Even keeping my eyelids open was difficult.
そうした方がいいです。あ、私、毛布を取ってきますね。
Julie hurried out of the living room. Seeing her resolved zeal to serve made me feel oddly like a king. She was so good-natured, but when it came to sexy time, she was so wild. And she's beautiful, with a bombastic... Who the fuck uses that word? A bombastic body to boot. Julie might be the best girl ever. Oh, well, it's currently Luna, so... Honk shoe.
お待たせしおやすみなさい、ゆうたさん。
And then, I got up and the doorbell rang. As I was washing my face. I got up and the doorbell rang as I was washing my face.